Okay, so for today's Flatware Friday, what I thought I would do is just share with you a little haul that I got on the recent road trip that me and my family just took. And instead of showing you the flatware in those haul videos that I'm putting out slowly, I just decided to put all the flatware together that I found on our trip and just kind of go through it with you here on Flatware Friday. And we can kind of see if there's any lessons or things like that we can learn along the way. So I went to plenty of stores on our road trip. It was a week long and it was a couple different states, and I looked at plenty of thrift stores. I looked at plenty of flatware in those thrift stores, and there were plenty of thrift stores where I bought zero flatware. There just wasn't anything good in the flatware section. So don't feel bad. Like if you're getting into flatware and you go to the thrift store and you're just like, I don't know if I should buy this. I don't know if it's worth it. A lot of times there's flatware that's just kind of very cheap quality. Like you can feel that there's nothing solid to the pieces, and those are generally something that you're not going to want to deal with anyway. But my search was rewarded at the last thrift store of the trip, I'm pretty sure. Towards the end. Anyway, the last store that I actually found flatware that I purchased, you're going to have to wait till the very end of the video to find out what it was all about, but it was in this box. So anyway, it was what I was most excited to see and to find, and you'll find out why at the end of the video. Okay, so the first store that I found something fairly good at in order to flip was at an Idaho youth ranch. So I went through quite a few stores before I even found anything. These I think were about 29 cents each. I have a little footage there. And so here's what I pulled out. I'll put some footage up right now. Big spoons. All Gerber silver plated ones. Oneida. And then these two. You gotta feel the edges of the spoons. And they're all chewed up, so I'm gonna put those two back. So I know the volume was kind of low on there. I tried to up it a little bit, but I'll reiterate in case you didn't hear it. So towards the very end, when I'm showing you the spoons, I run my fingers around the edges of the spoons, like around the bowl. And if you feel any kind of roughness, that's disposal damage. And that I put back, right? So I've kind of learned that over the years to try to look for that, even if your flatware is baggied up, to try to get a look inside the bags, because especially if your bag is mostly spoons, and if it turns out they're all disposal damaged, it's kind of worthless, because I don't list disposal damaged flatware. It doesn't feel good on your mouth. Like, why would anyone want to buy that? That's probably the type of pieces that they're trying to replace, right? Anyway, so yeah, feel around the edges if you can, or take a good look in the bags. I miss sometimes too. I get excited about a bag of flatware and I don't always see it perfectly well. There might be, like I'm looking at this, there's a Twin Star spoon right on top, and it's a little bit rough through the plastic. That one I might just get away with, and I might just say, you know, one of the spoons is a little bit rough or something like that. But, you know, if it's like crazy chewed up, then that's stuff that you don't want to do. Okay, so the other thing, I can like flip this around. Well, no, I'll just pick it up. You saw in the video that I found some baby flatware. So this is Gerber. I think I might have mentioned it in the video that it seemed like the silver plate Gerber does the best. Comparatively speaking, we're not talking high dollar, but it was kind of neat to find two pieces, the long-handled feeding spoon and another little baby spoon. And they're silver plated and they're completely sealed, which is wonderful because even though they're tarnished, there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to sell it as is because they're already sealed in a bag. And sometimes flatware plastic sleeves are not sealed. When you find them, that's okay. These just happen to, that's how they came. They were sealed. Anyway, Just thought I would share. Ha, ha. Anyway, I just thought it was funny after I, you know, talked about that. Okay, so then the other ones I found were that you saw. Hold on one second. Okay, so as I was saying, sorry, I got a rolly chair. It's not working. I'm in my glamorous location out here in the garage where Mr. Pish Posh works. Here's a little sneak peek of one of our finds from our trip. But anyway, I digress. So these forks you saw in the video, there's 4 of them. I'm quite excited about these. I was pretty sure I knew what the pattern was, but I am going to share with you right now how I identify my flatware and what tool I use in order to do that super quickly. You can even do this right in the store if you want to, if you have internet on your phone. So I just use replacements.com, and they have a photo reverse image search tool kind of thing. I've talked about it before on this channel, but in case you're new. So it's kind of like Google Lens, but it's only in the replacements site. So that's kind of cool. So let me show you how I identify this, how I identified this fork and confirmed what I thought it was. Okay, so on replacements, we're going to go up to the little photo icon in the search bar, and then we're going to pick silver flatware. And then because we can choose take a photo or choose a photo, I already have a picture, so we're going to choose a photo. And that's right from my photo library. And I have the photo already. It's not the greatest photo, but it'll do. It's clear. The whole piece is in frame. So we've got our results. We're going to scroll down. This one happened really quickly. Oh, nope, we're submitting it still. Sorry. Okay, now here's the results. We've got plantation is what I thought it was, is the first choice. You can kind of compare as you make the picture larger. Now I'm just going to scroll down. I'm kind of curious about the dinner forks. And yes, it looks like those are $40 a piece from replacements. But what you want to do is also scroll down at the other choices they give you. There's Frederick II, there's Wordsworth. Some of those are very similar. So I want to open up a piece and really zoom in on the pattern and make sure all the little, you know, squirrels, the little curls and flowers and curly cues are all matching up with what I have on my piece. But I'm pretty satisfied that what I have is plantation, and so I will move ahead with that. So as we saw, it was plantation, and what was nice about that is I think I'll throw a comp. I know the looking in replacements, you might have seen it. So forks were like $40 a piece according to replacements, so they're going to be less on eBay. But I did find a nice comp, I thought, earlier when I was looking. And when I edit, I will throw the comp up right here. So that was a good return on investment for what, 29 cents each, I think is what it said on that little sign. So that was awesome. I'm happy about that one. So then the spoons are also Oneida. They are just marked Oneida. Here's the pattern. And this turns out to be cantata. And it's okay. It's like a 90s pattern. And the spoons, I have teaspoons. And I have oval soup spoons or tablespoons or big spoons, or what were some of the other words? Dinner spoons, place spoons. You know, the spoons are having an identity crisis, but in any case, we know they're the big spoons versus the little spoons, and these don't sell as well usually in any pattern, so they weren't that much on replacements, so I'll just put all 5 together and just see what I can get for those, even if I get $15 or something like that. But the teaspoons should do a little bit better, and I've got 7, so they'll probably just go all together in the 7, unless I decide to do 4 and 3. I might just do that on those. Okay, so then the next place, let's see, it was a smaller thrift It was a hospice thrift, and Mr. Pish Posh, I'll put footage up here. Well, I don't have footage of him necessarily, but of where we found it. And he gathered up these pieces. As you can see, they were Interpure INR2, which we've just talked about recently, in the 5 no-fail patterns to pick up. And he knew enough to tell me as he handed them to me that the handles were not cracked. So he was like, hey, look what I found, and the handles are not cracked. So that was kind of cool. So there's just like 5 pieces of that. I'll probably hold on to them until I get more, or it's possible in my flatware hoard that I already have some, most likely, that I can just add to that set. And I did pick up a couple other random pieces in there as well. Some I just recognize as something I probably have. Sometimes I just pick up something that looks very mid-century looking because I make up a lot of mixed mid-century atomic looking flatware. Like if I don't have enough of that pattern to sell by itself, then I might just, I've done this in the past where I just make up place settings of like things with stars on them or things that look very mid-century, and they're just like an eclectic place setting. And then I'll sell it as like a service for 4, service for 6, something like that. So that's always kind of fun because then I can just pick up some odds and ends here and there. And then I throw it in a bin that says atomic on it. And then I can like look into making up a set to try to sell. And then I did pick up this 1 teaspoon. It's Mikasa. I feel like I've sold it before. I only picked it up because it was a teaspoon. I'll pick up loose teaspoons or dinner forks in some of these pattern, makers, because sometimes even just a teaspoon by itself is worth listing by itself. If it was an oval soup spoon, I would not have picked it up. If it was a knife, I definitely would not have picked it up. And in that same store, we picked up this cute little flatware holder. I love picking these up. It was like 50 cents and it's so avocado green. So any of those colors, kitchen colors that are very indicative of a certain era. I've sold flatware trays, like Rubbermaid flatware trays in those, like, what was the burnt orange and the avocado green, the harvest yellow, pink, and aqua blue are actually very, very popular if you can come across. It might be, it's worth, and we're talking $15, $20 is what it would be to that something would sell for. And this is a tiny one. It fits in a nice little small drawer. So we'll see how that does. It was 50 cents and it held the flatware I was holding at the moment. So it came home with us. Now, Value Village. I love me a bag wall. You guys know, do you guys know Value Village? Do you know Savers? They're all kind of, I know there's some other names that it goes by in different countries and different parts of the world. But I've missed the bag wall. I love my Value Village. Now the prices of the bag wall have gone up. Like it used to be a lot of things on the bag wall were $1.99. Those days are long behind us. It seemed like the lowest, the basic, maybe a $2.99 on there, but most of them were like $3.99. So the first Value Village I went to, you'll see in this clip, I did spot that Twin Star in the bag. So now I'm opening that bag up that I showed you. And it's got rubber bands too. I don't like that. It's not so bad on stainless, but when you find rubber bands on old silver plate or on flatware that's been there for a while, I don't know. There's another just kind of vintagey looking spoon in there. There's some odds and ends in here that are not anything. So I knew that, like, this isn't going to be anything. This is Willie Mae Riders Oneida Limited. This might be something I have in my stashes. We'll just put that there. This is nothing. What I also saw in there, there's another bits of odds and ends. there's quite a bit that I'm probably not going to do much with, but what I will do is put them in a yard sale. We've done that at yard sales before with all my reject flatware from bags or from things like that, is just set out a tray or something like that and just do like 10 cents a piece or something. And people go crazy. They just love picking up, you know, they just need flatware for their camper or something like that, right? So this was the other thing I noticed in that bag, this pattern. It's called Versailles, and it's by MSI Japan, which is Merchandise Service Industries or something like that, but it's vintage, made in Japan. I've sold this pattern quite a few times, and these turned out to be salad forks. So I think a dinner fork, again, teaspoon dinner fork would sell for higher, but I'll take it. I might, again, have some of this just waiting to lot up, but probably not, because I usually sell this when I list it. So have sold a lot of that on Etsy in the past. But here's another twin star piece that was in that bag. So I did get 2 twin star pieces out of that. And then look at this cutie. This one is Stainless USA Style House, I think it says. It's super cute. So if it doesn't make it into like a vintage atomic flatware mixed lot, I've sometimes done just vintage in general mixed lots and just, you know, try to find patterns that kind of have the same aesthetic and put those together. So that'll get used somewhere sometime. But I want to mention this Versailles. The lovely thing about Versailles and MSI is that they put the pattern name, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but they print the pattern name right on the pieces. So you're going to be able to find that again. Then the other stuff that was at, there were 3 bags. I ended up getting 3 bags because fortunately there might be a few odds and ends of other patterns in there, but fortunately they did put the majority of the flatware that they got in this same pattern in like the same bags. Sometimes, you know how they do it. They spread out a pattern over 20 bags and then you're like, forget it. Anyway, I picked these up. These have their satin finish, very sleek looking, kind of like a beveled edge there. But I read on the back that it was J.A. Henkel's. So I'll sell a Henkel's piece of flatware. There's not a whole lot in sold. It did turn out the pattern is called Gem Satin. In comps, there's not a ton in comps as far as sales in the last 3 months or so. So these might be a little bit more long tail. I just make my listings and let them go. So that's flatware. Sometimes it goes like that and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on what's available and what people are looking for. Now the other Value Village, I had a little fun. By now, like, I don't have any footage. I was shopping with my friend at that point. I don't have any footage from that day of my thrifting endeavors. I was just having fun and hanging out. And, but I did pick up this one bag. It had a lot of like the serving utensils. So like we talked about what Replacements calls a tablespoon is these big serving spoons. And this pattern, off the top of my head, I'll put it up here when I edit. But I have pieces, or I've sold them recently. There's a silver plate pattern that looks just like this. And the silver plate one might be my mom's wedding flower, I'm not sure. But then there was these very sleek minimalist pieces as well, and the brand is called like Pathfinder. No, maybe not. But anyway, they're made in Germany. So that'll be interesting to look that up. Pathfinder might be the pattern name. I see Solingen, and then some other word that my eyesight will not let me see. Okay, so I've got those. Those are cool. Then I got, look at these cute little, the pattern on that. Like flowers, could be starburst, so that could be atomic. We could go atomic with that one. And I have these 3 pieces. So a cold meat fork, a pierced tablespoon, and a gravy ladle, all in that super cute little pattern. And they are stainless by International. Okay, so normally International, that's a tough one. There's stuff all over the place from International, and it tricks you into thinking it's going to be good. But it's a slow sell. But these I think will be okay. And if not, they fit enough into that atomic look that they can make my eclectic place settings, my eclectic flatware set, very desirable, because I will include some surfing pieces as well. So that's my idea with that. And then look, there was one more. So I've got 3 of those. Germany. No, it's something different. What am I saying? I don't know what that says. Something stainless. Anyway, very similar looking. So whatever that is, I'll try to pull out the jeweler's loop and read my flatware later. Okay, so that was super cute, and I know I can make money on that serving set. And then the other flatware I got there, 2 more bags. And I don't always go for this black accent vintage made in Japan flatware, but it looked like the black accent was in pretty good shape on these. And there was quite a few pieces in this set. And a lot of times with these vintage black accent, very vintage looking sets, I just keep them all together, because sometimes, you know, it depends on who makes them, but sometimes I'll look in comps, and if it looks like people are buying replacement sets, then I'll go that route and I'll divide them up. But some of these, like this is, I think, National Silver, and Greta is the pattern name. I love some of these Japanese ones. They always put the pattern name on there. It saves a little bit of time, right? So anyway, that might just end up getting listed in one big lot, and someone can have a cute little vintage set to go like right away. Okay, so now we're coming to, I think we're caught up with everything that I found on my little thrifting trip, except for that box. You guys are gonna laugh too, so let me show you the footage. So yes, as you could see, I'm trying to give enough time for the footage to go by. I know it's not very long. As you can see, I found Cubby Bear. We just talked about this in the flatware, baby flatware video. Okay, so it looks like I have the long spoon, the baby spoon, the little baby fork, the youth spoon, and the youth fork. But they're all new in package. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 pieces out of the total. You guys know what it's missing? It's missing the youth knife. So probably not too much of a deal breaker. Like if you're gonna be missing any of those pieces, I'd probably be missing the knife. So I'm gonna throw up a comp. The comp I had found in the store was probably for all 6 pieces, and I think it was about $30 is what it sold for. I do have a couple Cubby Bear pieces listed, but they're spoons, so and they're used, so I don't think that would add any value if I put these together. But oh my goodness, you could have knocked me over with a feather, because I'm just standing there chatting with my friend, and I'd already kind of looked in that aisle, and then I was like, oh, a box. Like, I haven't looked inside that box. I wonder what's in that box. It was honestly, it was the last thing I was expecting. And so that was exciting. So let me know how your thrifting, hunting, sourcing for flatware is going. Have you started looking? Have you been able to find anything great along the way? Let me know how it's going, and any questions, leave them down below. We will go back to some, like a research type video next week for Flatware Friday, and we'll talk about some other aspect of types of flatware that we can be on the lookout for. So hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.